You just obliterated 3 months of work, Rex. My voice, usually a calm murmur, ripped through the stunned silence of the open-plan office, laced with an anger that threatened to choke me. The new intern, Rex, a fresh-faced 20-something barely a day into his role, stood beside the main server rack, an innocent shrug on his shoulders. The entire system had just crashed, a terrifying, irreversible blackout that devoured every painstaking detail, every late-night revision our team had poured into the critical project. Files, presentations, meticulously crafted data, all gone, a digital graveyard. I stormed towards him, my mind racing through the sheer catastrophe. What the hell did you do? Rex's eyes widened, a picture of wide-eyed naivete. I thought everyone was working so hard, pulling all these late nights. I just wanted to help you all go home early. His voice was soft, laced with a theatrical concern that made my blood run cold. He even had the audacity to ask, "Why are you being so aggressive?" It was a nightmare, and the worst part was, my girlfriend, Chloe, the team leader, was our only hope. She kept separate, segmented backups of everyone's work on her personal machine, a habit I'd always appreciated. I turned to her, desperate. "Chloe, the backups. You have them, right? On your laptop, the segmented versions?" She just shook her head, her expression distant. "This project was your responsibility, Leo. Why are you coming to me?" She glanced at Rex, a flicker of something I couldn't quite decipher in her eyes. Besides, Rex only had good intentions. He just wanted to help everyone get some rest. I felt a cold knot tighten in my stomach. Good intentions? He knew how crucial this project was to the company. I saw a smirk, faint but unmistakable, play on Rex's lips as he caught my gaze. "You're just a cog in the machine, Leo, a corporate stooge. Why bother worrying about the big bosses? Does being a company man make you feel so good?" My anger boiled over, twisting into a bitter laugh. I pulled out my phone, thumb hovering over a message to Ms. Sterling, our CEO. "Sir, the project is compromised. And this time, I won't cover for Chloe." Before I could hit send, my phone was snatched from my hand and slammed onto the tiled floor, shattering the screen. Chloe stood before me, shielding Rex, her brows knitted in a furious frown. Was that really necessary? It's Rex's first day. Mistakes happen. He didn't mean it. Reporting this trivial matter to Miss Sterling? You have no compassion. He just admitted to it. I retorted, my voice trembling with rage. Rex, now comfortably hidden behind Chloe, dropped the innocent act. His chin tilted up, a sneer twisting his lips. "I just saw everyone struggling with overtime, wanted them to rest. Is that wrong? It's workaholics like you who ruin the office environment. I'm just trying to fix bad habits." I laughed again, a harsh, humorless sound, and gestured to our silent colleagues, who now busied themselves with their screens, avoiding eye contact. "Is that so? Then let's ask everyone here. Who feels exploited by overtime?" I reminded them of the generous compensation, the premium meals, the voluntary commitment to meet deadlines. No one spoke, no one met my gaze. "So what exactly are you trying to fix?" Smack. The sound echoed, sharp and brutal, through the silent office. My cheek burned, stinging with shame and outrage as I stared at Chloe's hand, still raised from the blow. Had she really gone that far? "You're being unreasonable." Chloe spat, her eyes blazing. Rex was looking out for everyone. Health is more important than anything. Remember that employee who collapsed here a while back? My frown deepened, and I immediately pierced through her fabricated narrative. He collapsed because he played games for 3 straight nights without sleep, then had a heart attack at his desk. It had nothing to do with overtime. The company even provided his family with the highest compensation. His family thanked the company. Everyone knows this. How can you twist the truth like that? "You're nothing but a corporate shill," Rex suddenly yelled, pointing a finger at me, his eyes full of contempt. "All you care about are projects and achievements, not the lives of your colleagues. Your priorities are completely skewed." The office remained eerily quiet. My colleagues kept their heads down. I clutched my burning cheek, watching the two of them, smug and righteous in their self-proclaimed moral superiority. My heart sank, heavier with each passing second. Finally, a timid voice broke the silence. "It's no use, the files are gone. Maybe we should just go home and figure it out tomorrow." More voices quickly chimed in, echoing the sentiment. I knew arguing was futile. Gritting my teeth, I glared at Chloe and Rex one last time. Then, utterly defeated, declared, "All right, everyone. You're dismissed." The office quickly emptied. I switched on my desk lamp, sat down, and powered up my computer. As the project lead, every detail, every iteration, was seared into my memory. If I worked through the night, I might just be able to reconstruct the proposal before tomorrow's client meeting. I couldn't let the company down. My fingers flew across the keyboard, replaying conversations, recreating graphs, rebuilding the framework from scratch. Lost in thought, a splash of ice-cold water drenched my face and cascaded over my computer's CPU. There was a faint sizzle, and the screen went black. I whipped my head around to see Rex, an empty glass in his hand, a chilling mix of innocence and triumph on his face. We stared at each other for a beat. Then, he flinched, his eyes instantly welling up. "Leo, I'm so sorry. It was an accident, truly." I shot out of my chair, my roar echoing through the now mostly empty office. "Accident? The entire office is rushing to salvage this project, and you're just casually strolling around, destroying my computer? Why haven't you left yet?" Chloe immediately stepped in front of Rex, her voice sharp with impatience. "What's wrong with you? Rex said it was an accident. It was just a little water. Can't you see he's upset? No one else is acting like this. Do you see anyone thanking you for your efforts?" My fury intensified. I knelt, desperate to save my machine, but the screen remained stubbornly dark, even the power indicator light dead. As I turned, ready to continue the argument, Chloe's voice, calm to the point of mockery, cut through the air. "Don't bother. It's ruined." She stood, arms crossed, a cold smirk on her lips. "You know you can't finish the proposal tonight. Aren't you just trying to blow this out of proportion now, just to get back at Rex?" "Get back at Rex?" I spun to face her, my eyes blazing with anger. "I've been on this project for over 3 months. Dozens of revisions, countless sleepless nights, all gone because of him." Rex cowered further behind Chloe, whispering, "Chloe, he's like this at home too, isn't he? It's terrifying." Chloe's face hardened, her expression turning to steel, clearly embarrassed by his insinuation. She raised her hand, intending to strike me again. I caught her wrist, pushing her away. "Haven't you humiliated me enough? It's just one project." Her shout pierced the empty office. "If it's lost, it's lost. Why are you acting like a madman? I think you're just looking for trouble." "Looking for trouble?" I glared at her. "Do you have any idea how much the company stands to lose if this project falls through? The responsibility will fall on you." She just scoffed, a cold, dismissive curl of her lip. "That's hardly your concern." Looking at the ugly expressions on their faces, I felt a wave of nausea. All my hard work, my dedication, meant nothing to them. Enraged beyond words, I stopped arguing. If she hadn't been my girlfriend, I would have made her pay. I turned my back, gathering my few remaining notes, planning to figure out my next steps for tomorrow. I'd only taken 2 steps when a forceful shove from behind sent me stumbling. Chloe stood there, her face devoid of warmth. "Where do you think you're going?" Her voice was low and firm, her gaze imperious. "Don't even think about making excuses. Rex had a rough first day because of you, and now you can't let go of a small incident. You need to apologize to him." I almost thought I misheard her. I was just doing basic training for an intern. During a meeting, he didn't understand the project context, so I cut him off to keep us on schedule. "Chloe, do you even have a conscience anymore?" My voice shook with fury. Rex, hidden behind Chloe, trembled slightly, his eyes welling up again. "Leo, did I do something wrong to make you so angry? I'm sorry, please don't argue with Chloe." His feigned helplessness only fueled Chloe's rage. She swung her hand, striking me again, harder this time. I lost my balance, my knee slamming into the sharp corner of a desk, a searing pain shooting through me. Chloe's voice was the last thing I heard before the agony consumed me. "You will apologize to Rex." I hunched over, clutching my throbbing knee. "I won't give in. How can I apologize to this saboteur? I did nothing wrong, and I absolutely will not apologize." She let out a cold laugh. "I'm your girlfriend, and more importantly, your manager. Here, I have authority over you. At home, I have every right to tell you what to do." At this, I nearly laughed aloud myself, a bitter, hollow sound. Did she truly believe she held her position purely by her own merit? You're right, I said, looking her directly in the eye, each word heavy with finality. You are indeed powerful. But from today, your messes? I will never clean them up again. Chloe froze, clearly stunned by my words. She stared at me for several seconds. Then, trembling with anger, she released her grip on my collar. Fine. Very well. You want to be stubborn? Let's see how long you can last. I gripped the desk, slowly, painfully, pushing myself to my feet. My knee throbbed. Without another glance at them, I dragged myself out of the office, heading home. At my apartment door, I pressed my finger to the fingerprint scanner. Beep, fail. I frowned, tried again. Beep, fail. A chilling premonition washed over me. I pulled out my phone. A message from Chloe. Your fingerprint has been removed from the lock. You can come home when you apologize to Rex. The words turned my blood to ice. After a long moment, I typed a single, curt reply. No need. We're done. Also, I hope you're still as smug tomorrow as you are now. I had always tried to preserve our relationship, to protect her image. But now, it was crystal clear. Moments later, Chloe called. I answered, her nonchalant voice flowing through the receiver. Don't flatter yourself, Leo. It was just a partnership. I can manage without you. I took a deep breath, hung up decisively, and switched my phone to silent. If she's so confident, then tomorrow, I'll see how she manages. The next morning, I walked straight into the conference room. Chloe and Rex entered last. She wore a pristine new business suit, her hair meticulously styled, a confident smile plastered on her face. Seeing me sitting quietly in a corner, she let out a condescending chuckle, deliberately raising her voice for Rex to hear. Some people, they think they're indispensable. They think the company can't function without them. Rex immediately chimed in, a triumphant smirk on his face. I ignored their provocations, my gaze fixed on the head of the table where Ms. Sterling, our CEO, sat. Our eyes met. She gave a subtle nod, saying nothing, but her familiar, steady gaze held a quiet understanding. Soon after, Mr. Vance, the representative from Client A, entered, and the room fell silent. I looked at Chloe, my voice cool. Chloe, if you please, your presentation. Chloe cleared her throat, stepped to the front, and opened her presentation file. Ms. Sterling, Mr. Vance, this is the optimized proposal we worked on all night. It incorporates all your previous requests, and I'm confident you'll be pleased. My eyes landed on the screen, and I froze. The design, the data charts, even the specific phrasing, it was identical to the proposal my team and I had spent countless sleepless nights perfecting. I whipped my head to Chloe. She caught my eye and raised an eyebrow, a triumphant smirk on her face. So, her claim of having no backup was a lie. They had simply taken our work, claiming it as their own. Mr. Vance's smile grew wider. Excellent, truly excellent. This proposal is far more refined than the previous draft, and the details are meticulously calculated. We agree to proceed with the partnership. After Client A left, Chloe and Rex's self-satisfied smiles were almost unbearable. They immediately approached Ms. Sterling, eager to bask in the glory. Ms. Sterling, this success is all thanks to Rex and me. We pulled an all-nighter to finalize the proposal. Looking at their duplicitous faces, I couldn't hold back. My voice, dripping with sarcasm, cut through the air. Indeed, some people are incredibly capable. Their talent for theft, I must say, is truly admirable. Are you slandering me? Rex's eyes immediately reddened, his voice breaking. Chloe and I clearly worked on this proposal together. People like you only exploit employees, bully newcomers, and deserve to be fired. Chloe instantly joined in, her eyes brimming with feigned tears. Ms. Sterling, if you don't dismiss him, the company's atmosphere will be ruined. No one will feel secure working here. If you insist on keeping him, then I'll have no choice but to resign. The tension in the conference room became palpable. My colleagues bowed their heads, no one daring to speak. Ms. Sterling remained silent for a few seconds, then finally spoke. All right. Chloe and Rex exchanged triumphant smiles. Rex even whispered to her, I knew she'd side with us. But the next instant, Ms. Sterling's words froze the smiles on their faces. Chloe, you can go ahead and process your resignation paperwork. Chloe's triumphant expression morphed into shock. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Miss Sterling, what did you say? You want me to resign? Rex, equally stunned, nervously tugged on Chloe's arm, looking pleadingly at Miss Sterling. Miss Sterling, perhaps you've made a mistake? We just secured a major contract. It's Leo who's causing trouble. They stood rooted to the spot, their faces etched with disbelief and indignation. In their minds, they were company heroes, bringing in a big deal, while I was the exploitative, bullying, lying troublemaker who should be shown the door. Chloe took a deep breath, trying to compose herself, to find a way to persuade Miss Sterling. Miss Sterling, you know how important this partnership with Mr. Vance is. Rex and I worked through the night for this proposal. Leo not only offered no help, but kept accusing us of stealing the project. Such a divisive person will only damage team morale. Her voice grew more agitated, a hint of injustice in her tone. Miss Sterling simply raised a hand, a cold gesture that silenced her. Chloe's eyes darkened, full of malice as she looked at me. Or perhaps, you and he have some sort of improper relationship, which is why you're showing such favoritism. Rex immediately chimed in. Exactly. That must be it. No wonder he's so arrogant. It's all because of a corrupt connection. I couldn't take it anymore. I strode forward, my voice cutting through the air like ice. Shut your mouths. What filth are you spewing? Relationship? I'll tell you what relationship. I looked them both dead in the eye. A mother-son relationship. Chloe and Rex both stared, dumbfounded. Rex wiped the corner of his eye, looking at Miss Sterling and me with utter disbelief. No way. If you're the CEO's son, why are you working in an entry-level project role? I'm here because of my own merit, I stated, my gaze filled with scorn. I only wanted to work modestly. But what about you two? Stealing credit, fabricating lies, and now malicious slander. You pushed me. You left me no choice but to reveal this. Chloe's face cycled through shades of green and white. She stared at me for a few seconds, then retorted, her voice choked with anger. Even if you are mother and son, if you fire me, outsiders will definitely say you're biased, damaging the company's reputation. Besides, I've worked here for years, completed many projects. Are you firing me over one mistake? My mother let out a cold laugh. She pulled a thick stack of documents from her drawer and tossed them onto the table in front of Chloe. Then see for yourself what you've really been doing these past few years. Chloe picked up the file, her face paling with each page she read. Her hands began to tremble uncontrollably. My mother pointed to the documents. Last March, when you were in charge of the medical equipment project with Mr. Lee, you misquoted core specifications, causing the deal to fall through. Leo had to rush to Mr. Lee's company overnight with a revised proposal and new samples to save that $50 million contract. Chloe's face grew paler, her knuckles white as she gripped the file. My mother continued, unrelenting. And 2 Septembers ago, the office building renovation project you managed. You miscalculated the budget, underestimating material costs by $2 million. The project ran out of funds midway, workers were about to strike, and Leo personally covered the shortfall. Have you forgotten all these things? With each incident my mother recounted, Chloe's head drooped lower. The colleagues in the room began to whisper, their gazes filled with contempt. It turned out the highly capable manager everyone admired had, in fact, been propped up by someone else all along. Chloe swallowed hard, then suddenly looked up, forcing a stiff smile. Miss Sterling, I was foolish back then. Luckily, Leo helped me. Let's just put this behind us. I apologized to him. She turned to me, her apology perfunctory. Sorry, I was wrong. I shouldn't have taken credit for your work, nor misunderstood you. Rex immediately changed his demeanor, looking at me with a piteous, pleading expression. Leo, I was wrong too. If I had known you were the boss's son, I would never have dared to cross you. Please, be magnanimous and forgive us. I looked at their deceitful faces, a cynical laugh escaping my lips. I don't accept your apologies. I have only one demand. Leave this company immediately. Now, don't let me see you again. Chloe's face darkened, her voice hardening. Don't be ridiculous. I don't have to stay at this company. There are plenty of companies out there who would love to have me. Good. Then go. Don't waste any more time here, I said with a cold smile. I'd like to see how far you get without me cleaning up your messes behind you. Rex tugged on Chloe's sleeve, whispering, Chloe, let's go. Arguing with him is pointless. Chloe shot me one last venomous glare, then spun around and stormed out of the conference room with Rex. News of the incident spread like wildfire through the company. I can't believe Chloe was like that. All this time, we thought she was brilliant, but she was just riding on someone else's coattails, even stealing credit. Exactly, and that Rex is no good either. Causing trouble on his first day, then fabricating a scandalous relationship between the CEO and a colleague. What were they thinking? It must have been Chloe trying to push Rex up the ladder, seizing this project. Who knew they'd hit a brick wall? That's the CEO's son. Everyone laughed at the irony. With Chloe gone, I naturally stepped into her position, becoming the new department head. Just as I was dedicating myself to the work, a wave of negative online posts targeting the company suddenly appeared. I stared at my computer screen, realizing the malicious information originated from a rival's official website, Apex Solutions. Though the articles didn't name us directly, every sentence hinted at our company. An enterprise that uses relatives to suppress talented employees. A company where management abuses power to force interns to resign. The words dripped with sarcasm, and the author of the posts was clearly named Chloe. I couldn't help but laugh. So, after leaving, she immediately joined a competitor, clearly aiming to tarnish our company's reputation. Soon after, a colleague rushed into my office, tablet in hand, face pale with worry. "Director Leo, you have to see this. Chloe is publicly denouncing our company at an Apex Solutions press conference." I took the tablet. The live stream showed Chloe, her hair neatly styled, dressed in a sharp business suit, looking utterly respectable. Facing the camera, she spoke gravely. "My former company suffers from severe management issues. Some leaders, relying solely on personal connections, suppressed capable employees and even forced interns to resign. Today, I'm speaking out to warn businesses to operate with integrity. You cannot use unethical tactics to bully employees and destabilize the market." As she finished, Rex, standing beside her, immediately teared up, pulling out a tissue to dab his eyes. On my very first day, I was targeted by management. He not only verbally abused me, but rallied others to isolate me. If Chloe hadn't helped me, I truly don't know what I would have done. The two of them, a perfect duet, played their parts flawlessly. In the comments section, outsiders, unaware of the truth, flooded the stream with sympathy for Rex and condemnation for our company. Some even started a hashtag calling for a boycott of heartless corporations, which quickly trended. The negative impact was immediate and brutal. That very afternoon, 3 collaborating clients called to announce a temporary halt to our partnerships. Website inquiries plummeted, and business operations suffered a disastrous decline. Just as I was scrambling to manage the crisis, Chloe called. The moment I answered, her smug voice filled the line. "How about that, Leo? Still so arrogant?" Next, Rex's voice, full of triumphant glee, chimed in. "You want us to stop spreading information? Fine, but we need to see your sincerity first. Have your mother publicly apologize to us, or we'll ruin your company completely." They continued to boast about their plan, their voices echoing in my ear. When they finished, I spoke, my voice cold. "Thank you, Chloe. I never expected you to voluntarily send me evidence." "How thoughtful." Chloe paused. "What do you mean? What evidence?" "You'll see soon enough." I hung up, then turned to my technical colleague. "Please edit the recording of this call, upload it to the company website, and synchronize it across all social media platforms." My colleague sprang into action. In less than 10 minutes, the recording was live. At that very moment, Chloe was still in her live stream, tearfully recounting her fabricated grievances, accusing our company of employee oppression. Suddenly, her assistant rushed in, frantic, phone in hand. "Chloe, it's bad. They've uploaded the recording of your call online." Chloe's face instantly changed. She snatched the phone, opening the recording. As she heard her own voice, boasting about manipulating public opinion and demanding an apology from the company, she panicked, fumbling to pull the network cable from the livestream equipment. But it was too late. The audience in the livestream had heard the recording clearly, and the comments section exploded. So it was all an act. They clearly intended to slander the company. Disgusting. Doing this for money? How despicable. Why would Apex Solutions hire people like this? Rex too. I thought he was pathetic, but he's just a fraud. I sat in my office, watching the outrage spread across the computer screen, a cold smile playing on my lips. Chloe and Rex thought they could bring down the company with fabricated stories. They never imagined their own arrogance would become the most damning evidence against them. This time, they had no escape. Less than 2 hours later, Apex Solutions issued an urgent statement. In it, they severed all ties with Chloe and Rex, asserting that both were temporary contractors and had never undergone formal recruitment. They emphatically stated they were completely unaware of the duo's defamatory actions and had terminated their association. Clearly, they wanted no part in the fallout, scrambling to distance themselves. Chloe and Rex were in complete disarray. That afternoon, they ambushed me outside the company building, their faces ashen, yelling, "This is too vicious. You deliberately recorded our call, setting us up?" Chloe stepped forward, her hand reaching to grab my arm, her eyes burning with fury. I sidestepped her, my gaze cold. "Vicious? Compared to your fabricated slander, your accusations against the company, and your attempt at blackmail, what I did is nothing. You were foolish enough to give me your weakness. Now you want to bite back? Don't you find that laughable?" Rex, his voice a low growl, chimed in, "Don't get cocky. Even if Apex Solutions doesn't want us, we'll find other ways to deal with you. Just wait, we won't let this go." I chuckled, pulling out my phone and holding it up. "Coincidentally, I've already called the police. Your fabrication, slander, and blackmail, all are illegal. Let the police hear about your other ways to deal with me." As I finished speaking, police sirens wailed in the distance. Chloe and Rex's faces turned chalk white. They spun around, attempting to flee, but were immediately intercepted by officers. As the cold handcuffs clicked shut around her wrists, Chloe finally broke down. "It wasn't me. It was all Rex's idea." She violently shook Rex's hand away, frantically trying to absolve herself. "He told me to go to Apex Solutions. He instigated me to create false stories to defame the company. He even made me call you to blackmail you. I was completely deceived by him." Rex also panicked, turning to shout at Chloe. "You're lying. You clearly wanted revenge on Leo. You wanted to use this to secure your position at Apex Solutions. I even know you've been secretly supporting a lover, sending him money every month. If I wasn't trying to climb the ladder using you, I wouldn't have wasted my time with trash like you." In front of the police, the two turned on each other, tearing each other down, spilling all their dirty laundry. I stood by, watching their desperate cries and struggles, finding it all strangely amusing. I had never imagined Chloe had been unfaithful behind my back. She was far more rotten and depraved than I had ever known. Before being led away, Chloe suddenly broke free, collapsing to her knees, clutching my pant leg, pleading desperately. "I was wrong. Leo, can you forgive me? We had so many good memories. Have you forgotten? We promised to grow old together. Just ask for leniency for me, and I'll be your servant. I'll make it up to you." I looked at her pathetic figure, my heart unmoved. Rex, standing beside her, scoffed sarcastically. "What's with the act now? Only now you beg him? You used to protect me so fiercely. Why didn't you think of this day then?" Chloe's face turned green and white. Seeing my unwavering expression, she finally dropped the pretense, releasing my leg, her eyes filled with bitter resentment. "It's all your fault. If you had told me earlier you were the boss's son, why would I have broken up with you? Why would I have ended up like this? It's all your fault." The police had her firmly under control. Chloe could no longer struggle. I bent down, looking straight into her eyes, my voice cold. "It's a good thing I didn't tell you sooner. If you had known my identity, who knows how many more schemes you would have concocted to exploit and deceive me. That's when I would truly regret it for the rest of my life." With that, I stood up and watched the police lead Chloe and Rex to the patrol car. Inside, they were still screaming and blaming each other. I finally let out a sigh of relief. The farce was finally over. On the day of the trial, I deliberately arrived half an hour early, sitting in the public gallery. I watched the empty defendants' seats, my heart calm, feeling as though I was watching a play that had nothing to do with me. Soon after, the police led Chloe and Rex in. Both wore prison uniforms, their hair disheveled, looking utterly wretched, none of their former arrogance remaining. Chloe avoided my gaze, unable to look me in the eye, while Rex kept his head down, his hands trembling as he clutched the hem of his uniform. The trial began. The prosecutors systematically listed their charges, each supported by irrefutable evidence. Confronted with the ironclad proof, Chloe still tried to argue. Your Honor, I didn't do it intentionally. I was just instigated by Rex. He kept saying he was being bullied, so I foolishly spoke up for him. Besides, I didn't cause any significant losses to the company. Please be lenient with me. Rex immediately panicked, looking up to refute her. You're lying. You clearly wanted revenge on Leo, and you wanted to use the company's defamation to climb the ladder at Apex Solutions. I just followed your lead on a few things. I'm a victim too. The judge looked at the two, passing blame back and forth, completely unmoved. The verdict was swiftly delivered. Chloe, 3 years in prison. Rex, 1 year. Upon hearing the sentence, Chloe collapsed onto the defendant's bench, her face ghastly white. She snapped her head up, glaring at me, her voice hoarse. I'm still so young. I can't go to prison. Leo, if you just write a letter requesting leniency for me, I'll be your servant. I'll compensate the company for all its losses. Don't dream. I cut her off, my expression blank, my voice cold. I don't need you as my servant. For someone as rotten as you, only time behind bars will truly atone for your mistakes. Rex beside her let out a sneering laugh, looking at Chloe with contempt. Money-hungry woman. Only now you beg him? You slapped him before and bullied him with me. Why didn't you think of this day? You deserve it. Shut up. If it wasn't for a freeloader like you, why would I be in this situation? Chloe screamed, her eyes red, at him. You're the greedy one. Rex retorted, unwilling to back down. The two began to argue violently right there in the courtroom, like rabid dogs tearing at each other. Judicial police immediately stepped in, restraining them and escorting them out. As they passed me, Chloe was still struggling, screaming. I was wrong. Please give me another chance. All our beautiful memories, have you forgotten them? We promised to grow old together. I didn't turn my head, just sat there in silence. Those so-called beautiful memories had shattered beyond repair the moment she struck me and conspired with an outsider to humiliate me. Stepping out of the courthouse, the bright sunlight streamed down. My mother stood waiting at the entrance. Seeing me, she smiled and walked over, patting my shoulder. Leo, after this, you not only have capability, but also courage. Get more involved in company affairs from now on. Slowly take over. I paused, then smiled. All the humiliation and injustice I had endured over the past months seemed to vanish in that moment. I nodded. Yes, I will do my best. In the following days, I poured all my energy into work. Under my relentless efforts, the company's reputation gradually recovered. Clients who had temporarily suspended partnerships returned, and our business even thrived more than before. I was no longer the man who devoted all his time and thoughts to Chloe. I had learned to value myself. Sometimes, I recalled Chloe and Rex, remembering that dark period, but I no longer felt anger or self-pity. I only felt fortunate that I hadn't continued to drown in a misguided relationship. Standing before the floor-to-ceiling windows of my office, watching the bustling traffic outside, I took a deep breath. My life, the one truly meant for me, had only just begun.